back.
Full speed ahead.
Welcome back.
Yeah, basically what that means. Nice job snagging first. You know, I'm just 30 minutes late. It's fine. What's going on with TikTok today? It's being weird. I guess it's kind of always weird, though. It's just really early for Friday's stream. I gotta say, since we started doing the game news in the morning, doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday makes Monday easier, but it also makes Fridays easier. You know, like Fridays, I know what I'm getting into, and there's usually not any like major breaking stuff like on Wednesday. Usually. But I don't ever have to like catch up as much on like from the Wednesday to Monday jump, you know. All right. Well, everything's started. All the chats are connected. Alright, we can just jump right in. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Wednesday. Man, it's already Wednesday this week. This week is going by really fast. Last week felt like it was like taking forever to get to Friday. This week is flying by very quickly. We're already halfway through the week. We got a bit of game news this morning to talk about. Hey, Brent, good to see you. A couple of big stories. Mainly, the Steam Deck is completely out of stock, and RAM shortages mean replenishment is unknown at this point. So, yeah, we're gonna talk about that and a few other stories. And yeah, how's everybody doing? What's going on in your part of the world, or if you're watching from today? I hope you're having a great week. I hope it's been stress-free. I hope it's been productive. You know, if you're in school, I hope it's been a light week for you. Last night we played the demo for Luminous Nights, which is super cool. I enjoyed the 30 minutes we spent playing that, and we made a ton of progress in Riku's story on Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, which means we'll be moving to the DS titles pretty soon on stream. I got to figure out the best way to play those on stream, but I also have to find the best way to acquire those for on stream. I used to own them way back in the day. I may buy some copies and like a used DS and see about how we can go about getting this for stream play. I would do the cutscene modes in the Kingdom Hearts like modern collections, but I really want to play through the games. I feel like there's just something about playing those games that I think is missed by just watching the cutscenes, and the cutscenes just consolidate a lot of it. Analog make a modern DS? No, they don't. There's really no There's some good knockoff devices. I say knockoff. There's some good handheld emulation devices out there. They're just really expensive. I mean, not that analog isn't really expensive. It's just, I don't know if it's worth grabbing. You know, I don't remember the Kingdom Hearts titles on DS having a lot of touchscreen functionality, and even if they do, we'll work around it somehow. I wonder if I can make like my iPad like the second screen and use my Apple Pencil. That would be interesting. Oh man, I wonder. I'm curious. Analog N64 is pretty sweet. Oh yeah, dude, I would love to have all of the analog systems. There are ways to use your iPad as a DS screen, so I may look at that. That would be interesting. The analog systems are cool. I really want the Sega. They did a Genesis clone, and I think it would be awesome to have, because it works with the modern. It works with the old school add-ons like the Sega CD and the 32X, but the 32X doesn't work with the HDMI out of the analog. So it's like, do I want to mess with that? I don't know. It requires some extra stuff. But anyway, let's jump into the game news and check it out. See what we got going on here. News mode is on, I believe. Turn that on. And drop that music way down. But we'll also switch to the synthwave playlist as well. Alright. Well, my monitor's all wrong. I just have something in the wrong spot. Alright, well, let's kick things off with some Game Pass updates. The second wave for February is, well, a lot of this is coming out this week or next. Specifically, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition is kind of cool. And then Final Fantasy 3, also hitting Game Pass, is pretty sweet. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a big deal. And then, you know, the rest of the games are also there, if that's up your alley. I think it's cool. It's fine. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, if I still sub to Game Pass, I would be excited about Final Fantasy and probably Witcher 3. I haven't played it. I think I might pick it up next time I see it for like $5. It usually goes on super sale very quickly. All right, let's jump to our next article, our first real article. Highguard developer was backed by Tencent. So this is kind of interesting news. If you've been following the Highguard drama on the internet, I'm not a drama channel. I did cover that one dev's statements about how they were treated, and he blamed gamer culture or whatever for why Highguard failed. And that's not the truth. You know, us not liking the game isn't why the game failed. But let's read the article and see. As Highguard struggles continue amid collapsing player counts and layoffs at developer Wildlight Entertainment, a new report has shed light on who was funding the game all these years. According to Stephen Totillo of GameFile, Chinese conglomerate Tencent was the lead financial backer of the studio. Specifically, it said that Timmy Studio Group is the main studio backing the game. Up until now, the funders behind the game have been kept quiet. In past interviews, the studio has declined to comment on who was investing in the studio. Totillo adds that neither Tencent nor Wildlight provided a comment on the matter by the time of publication. Insider Gaming has also reached out for comment but has not received a response. And then some info on Highguard launching. The reason we find this interesting, or we should, is because it kind of brings Jeff Keighley's "I just wanted to show a cool game to you guys at the Game Awards" statements into question, because part of the Game Awards board is the CEO of Tencent, somebody pretty high up at Tencent. I guess I should look it up, Let's see, Game Awards board, and then we'll just narrow it down because I don't remember. I remember reading it. Let's see, the advisory board. Senior Vice President Stephen Ma of Tencent. Okay, so I'll just pull it on screen for you guys to see as well. The advisory board. And then we scroll down. Stephen Ma of Tencent. So this kind of feels like a conflict of interest, maybe kind of situation, or not really conflict of interest, because I mean they can show whatever trailers they want, but it does kind of feel like somebody pushed for that game to be advertised at the Game Awards, and Jeff Keighley was like, okay, sure, I think the game, he might have thought the game looks cool. I don't think he was necessarily lying about his feelings toward the game, but it does seem kind of suspect that we didn't know Tencent was a primary backer for Highguard, and was funding either Wildlight Entertainment or development of the game directly, and then their free promotion in the Game Awards. The lines connect in a way that makes it questionable, right? And I'm just concerned. Like, is that weird? I don't know. I think we may never know the truth, and it doesn't really matter, but it's just interesting that we're seeing this kind of play out this way, that Highguard's failure is being blamed on game developers, being blamed on the gamers, when the game developers themselves didn't really self-reflect enough, and were in like that kind of bubble where they were told it was a good game from everybody. And this feature just kind of makes a little more sense. I don't know what I think about it. I just think it puts Jeff Keighley in a weird light, right? But anyway, let's move on before I rant out about this. All right. This is our main story. Steam Deck out of stock alerts flare as RAM and storage shortages escalate. So Valve has posted a warning on the Steam Deck website advising prospective buyers that the handheld may be intermittently out of stock in regions around the world due to ongoing memory and storage shortages. This follows the revelation that the popular handheld has sold out in the United States, a situation exacerbated by those same technical shortages. In December, Valve quietly ended the production of the LCD Steam Deck, bringing an end to the cheapest version of the handheld. Once the stock of that device has been depleted, no more will ever be made available. Suffers from shortages. If you venture onto the Steam Deck website operated by Valve, you'll be greeted with a message warning you that the Steam Deck OLED model, both the 512 and the 512 gig and 1 terabyte variants, may be out of stock intermittently in some regions due to memory and storage shortages. How many times do these articles have to repeat themselves? So yeah, here we go. This is from the site. You see Steam Deck OLED may be out of stock intermittently. And so there's the warning. And then the LCD 256 gig is no longer in production. Once sold out, will no longer be available. It was a few days back that the handheld sold out in the United States, and now we know why, but nobody's surprised. Valve recently delayed a new sweep of hardware, including the Steam Machine, frame, and controller, because of these ongoing issues with supply lines. It all started in Q4 25 when price of RAM skyrocketed to recognize the AI-driven demand soaking up the market share. The situation worsened when 2026 kicked off, with NVIDIA shutting down production of a new GPU in 26 to focus on AI data centers. It also caused Sony to suggest the PlayStation 6 won't surface until at least 2029. And now the Steam Deck is feeling the acute burn of the shortages, as arguably the best received gaming handheld on the market. It comes as no surprise to learn that Valve is struggling to fulfill sales of the Steam Deck due to these shortages. So here's what my takeaway is. If you are remotely interested in game hardware, buying a new console, buying a handheld, buying any piece of hardware in the next year, do it sooner rather than later. Because if it's in stock, and it's probably going to be in stock, you're confident it's going to be in stock, it's going to get more expensive. That's the first key. The second key is if it's out of stock and out of production because of the hardware shortages, you won't be able to get it unless you get it secondhand, and those secondhand prices are going to get ridiculous. So that's my like takeaway. Like, I've been kind of sitting on the fence about buying a PS5 Pro because I would like a second PlayStation, and now I'm like, oh crap, I might need to pull the trigger on this sooner rather than later. But do I want to? You know, we were reading on Monday about, you know, if the PlayStation 5 Pro faces these stock issues, it'll be after or going into the holiday season of this year. Same with the Switch 2. They're looking at increasing the price of the Switch 2 to offset the increased price of the storage and RAM components. However, those could also run out of stock, and then we won't have any new hardware available. Actually, there'll be plenty of Xboxes available. Don't worry. Nobody's buying them. This might be a good chance for Xbox to sell through some hardware over the next season. But I kid. It would just be a good time to buy if you were looking at buying a handheld or something and it's in stock now. If you have the money for it, buy it. Don't wait on a sale or anything, because those are going to be irrelevant soon. If it's on sale but you can't get it, what's the point? And I'm not trying to like doom alarm here or, raise panic. I'm just saying the Steam Deck has been consistently in stock and in high demand at the same time. Valve has been able to keep up with demand fairly well for this thing, and even they can't secure enough hardware to keep the thing in stock now. So that's all I gotta say. It's just, make your decision, but you might be stuck. And that's why that was another reason I was thinking about buying a PS5 Pro, because even though I already have a PS5 and a very capable PC, is the hardware is going to be unavailable, but we're going to be kind of stuck with what we've got until 2029 or longer, depending on how long these shortages actually last, right? And so it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out through the next couple of years. We were kind of told last year that the RAM shortages won't last very long, but now it seems like they're gonna last a long time, and I'm hoping that's not the case. Everybody hopes that's not the case, but I would say if there's a gaming device you were looking to buy, even if you're like, as a parent, if you were thinking about buying a new Xbox or something for your kids for the holiday season this year, buy it now and keep it hidden, because there's a strong chance it will be out of stock, or it will be way more expensive than it is right now. And the Xbox has already gone up in price twice for the Series X. Find a used one if you can. People are selling a lot of this hardware used for well under MSRP. It's just a time to, I don't know, man. It's so weird. I remember like specific consoles being out of stock because the demand was so high. I cannot recall a time where almost everything in the consumer electronic space was being limited by some external force, and it's very concerning that they're going to try to push us all to like cloud platforms and subscriptions super quickly. I don't want that. I want local rendering. I want real-time hardware rendering to be happening in my house. Use my own electricity. I don't want to use a data center to render the game. I'm just not into cloud gaming. It's useful. It has its purpose. I don't want it to be the primary way we all play. All right. Well, that's enough bad news. Let's talk about something else. Well, let's talk about more bad news. I guess it's not really bad news. We knew this was coming. Call of Duty Warzone Mobile officially shuts down in April. Activision announces the game was delisted from stores last year and will soon be completely unplayable. There's not really much to say here. This game was launched alongside Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile had been out for a while, and then this game came out as a companion to the main Warzone. but I don't think it was as popular or as necessary to do. I think they were trying to take the Fortnite approach. Fortnite on mobile does very well. A lot of people play Fortnite on mobile. That's why Epic pushed so hard for it to come back to the Apple Store, in the US and globally, I suppose, as well, is because there are a significant number of people who play Fortnite on a phone or a tablet, and that can't be discounted. Like, I don't blame Activision for trying. I just think this attempt was kind of weak. Especially when you already had COD Mobile that plays very well and has its own battle royale mode that is fun in and of its own. On its own, it's a great. I don't know. I wish Call of Duty Mobile would get a little more recognition. I could see that being the Call of Duty that comes to the Switch too. That would be cool. I might play it a little more. I don't know. But yeah, so if you played Warzone mobile, if you still had it installed, well, it shuts down in April, like, officially. So good luck. All right, let's talk about Avowed. Arrives on PS5 alongside Anniversary Update, adding new game plus, new playable species, and more. This is a game I was very interested in when I had Game Pass, and now I might like to pick it up on like some kind of sale or something. But Avowed is now available on PlayStation 5 and has received an Anniversary Update to mark the occasion. Marking a year since it originally released on the Xbox and PC, the new version 2.0 patch adds a number of new features that have been requested by players. This includes a new Game Plus mode, which lets players experiment with the game's multiple story choices without having to start from scratch with an entirely new character. According to Obsidian, players who start New Game Plus retain all their unlocked abilities, except for godlike abilities, which are earned through story progression. All spent attribute points, all unique weapons and armors reset to level 1, and all equipped common weapons or armor items, among other things. That sounds reasonable. Make sure the game remains challenging in New Game Plus. Enemy stats are increased and now have the chance to have elemental or physical modifiers applied to them. Because the game wasn't originally created New Game Plus in mind, players who already completed Avowed are advised that they have to reload a late game save and recomplete the game to create a completion save, which can then be used for New Game Plus. Very interesting. Other new additions include 3 new playable species to join humans and elves, dwarves, orlins, and Amawa, as well as custom difficulty modifiers, a new quarterstaff weapon type, a new photo mode, and other quality of life enhancements. Full patch notes could be read on the Obsidian forums. That's kind of cool. That's a solid anniversary update, along with launching on PS5. It's pretty sweet. All right, let's talk about Skyrim Anniversary Edition on Switch 2 gets a new update which fixes frame rate and complaints. I thought this was weird. I didn't think there was any issues running Skyrim on the Switch 2, but the game now lets players choose between 30 and 60 FPS. Skyrim's Switch 2 port of the game was shadow dropped in December, promising players an enhanced version of the 2022 Switch release. Switch 2 version offers enhanced resolution and faster load times compared to the Switch version, as well as Joy-Con 2 mouse controls, motion controls, and amiibo support. However, shortly after its surprise release, players started complaining that the game was locked to 30 FPS and suffered from a great deal of input lag. This was remedied in a subsequent patch a couple of weeks after release, which greatly reduced input lag, but also unlocked the frame rate in the process, leading to players saying gameplay no longer felt smooth as a result. Bethesda has now released a patch to the game which adds the ability to choose between 30 and 60 FPS, thanks to the addition of new prioritized visuals and prioritized performance options. The visuals option relocks the game at 30 FPS to ensure more stable performance, while prioritized performance option reduces some detail to make the game more frequently reach 60 frames per second. New patch also includes a number of other bug, crash, and performance fixes, including specific sections where frame rate drops were frequently reported. So that's fine. That's a decent patch. It's just nice to see that when a game launches weird, it doesn't just get ignored, and Bethesda patching the game to let people choose between 30 and 60 FPS is just nice. Options are never a bad thing, and I always appreciate when a developer adds options for players, even down the line. Like, if they launch with those options, awesome, thank you. But if they if they add them later, it's like, okay, good. You know, you made good on giving players choice, and that's super important in today's gaming space. People want to play how they want, and limited options are never a good thing. Forget about that one. We'll go to that one. All right, let's get to our next article. Nintendo's Virtual Boy app is now available on Switch Online with 7 games at launch. 9 more games are coming, including 2 unreleased titles. Nintendo has now released its Virtual Boy app, allowing players to enjoy a selection of games from its infamous flop console. Virtual Boy Nintendo Classics app is available to download now from Switch and Switch 2 eShop. Yo, Ginger, happy Wednesday, man. Thank you so much for that sub. Huge support, man. Thank you so much. 9-month streak, let's go. That's time for a baby. Thank you so much. Okay, so you have to have the expansion pack membership to access the game. Holy moly! Dropping a 5 bomb for gifted subs also on Twitch. Thank you so much, Ginger. Dude, let's go. Yeah, happy Wednesday indeed, my man. Hold on, chat. We gotta put a pause on the Virtual Boy news. Talk to Ginger. Dude, thank you so much. My dude, that is insane support. I hope you're doing well. Thank you, man. That is massive. And we got a hype train started. Good gravy. Let's go. You are? Sweet. Thank you so much, man. Oh my gosh. I'm so humbled by this. Let's go. All right. I don't know what to do with a hype train. If you guys just keep doing things, I guess it keeps going. I'm not really sure. Yeah, we're gonna see a bunch of new sub alerts come through. I'm just gonna switch back to the just chatting scene for a second. We're about to beat my personal channel's record for hype train, so that's awesome. You gotta cheer at least 400 bits or a sub to keep it going. 400 bits of complete level 2. Anyway. Dude, holy moly. Man, that is awesome. I just don't, I'm like blown away every time somebody like subs, much less gift subs. Ginger just coming in strong this morning. But thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to the show this week, man. It's gonna be good. All right, let's jump back in. We'll talk Virtual Boy news now again. Let's see. So you got to have the expansion pack to be able to enjoy Virtual Boy games. Says you'll also need to buy a physical Virtual Boy accessory. I thought you could play it in like 2D. I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that. But the full list of games available day one: 3D Tetris, Galactic Pinball, Golf, The Mansion of Innsmouth, Red Alarm, Tolero Boxer, Virtual Boy Wario Land. Day one, Nintendo's confirmed these 7 games will be joined by a further 9 games in the future, including Mario Clash, Mario's Tennis, Jack Bros, Space Invaders Virtual Collection, Virtual Bowling, Vertical Force, V Tetris, and the previously unreleased Zero Racer and D Hopper. D Hopper did look kind of cool. Yes, gaming news. So given that only 22 games were released for Virtual Boy over the course of its brief life, players will therefore find themselves with the majority of the library once the other 9 games are released. The only Virtual Boy games that haven't been confirmed as coming to the service are Nestor's Funky Bowling, Panic Bomber, SD Gundam Dimension War, Space Squash, Virtual Fighting, Virtual Lab, Virtual League Baseball, and Waterworld. Waterworld? Like the movie? Got a Virtual Boy tie? Hold on. Was this based on the movie? Like, what the heck? Hold on. Here, we'll put it over here. Waterworld for Virtual Boy. Waterworld's a series of video games released for Super Nintendo, Genesis, Virtual Boy, DOS, Windows, and Game Boy, based on the film of the same name. That's so weird. Why would Waterworld need a Virtual Boy tie-in? What the heck? My goodness. That's weird. All right, anyway. Yes, I do want to check this out. I really want this headset thing just for the novelty of it. It's something that'll look cool on a shelf, but I'd also like to mess with it. I'm also curious, you know, it says you have to have the accessory to enjoy it, but I wonder if I could hook it up to like my 3D TV and have it do its thing there. You know, baby wife is calling. You should answer. I'm curious. I may download that and mess with that today and see how that works. That would be interesting. All right. Well, let's move on. All right. I thought this was interesting. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined convinces Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi to do the unthinkable and drop Final Fantasy XIV, at least for now. Somehow I eventually cracked, he's quoted. If he's keeping up his 12-hour-a-day Final Fantasy XIV habit, then he must be foregoing sleep. So Hironobu Sakaguchi, the legendary JRPG director behind all of your favorite games in the genre like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger, and Vagrant Story, says he has dived into the latest Dragon Quest entry, explaining that his username Awo started as his in-game name in the first game of the series. Posting to Twitter, Sakaguchi shares a screenshot of his Dragon Quest VII Reimagined character, claiming that he cracked less than 2 weeks after the remake's release. As translated by Games Radar Plus, he writes, "Somehow I eventually cracked. Coincidentally, the in-game name I always use was made for Dragon Quest 1. That's awesome. That's so cool. Howie, thanks for the likes. I love it. I love the fact that this dude is like retired and just enjoying video games. It's like, well, I have more video games to enjoy. Anyway. All right, talented Square Enix team behind Octopath Traveler, Dragon Quest, and Dragon Quest HD 2D JRPGs ask fans what remake they'd like next, and I'm praying for Chrono Trigger. Same. Team Asano, the Square Enix subdivision responsible for beloved JRPG gems like Bravely Default, Dragon Quest, and Octopath Traveler, is asking what fans want remake they'd like to see in the future, and of course the obvious answer is Chrono Trigger. There is no other right answer, chat. The rest of the article is pointless. If they don't remake Chrono Trigger in HD 2D, what are they doing? What other RPGs are more worthy of the HD 2D remake at this point? I feel like they've just been sitting on it and pondering like, oh, well, we could do it. We just don't know when. And it's like now is the time. We all want Chrono Trigger in that HD 2D fashion with the anime cutscenes and, you know, fantastic soundtrack, an amazing story, and near perfect RPG gameplay. Like, come on. Hoping for Dragon Quest 4 through 6 now, personally. Yes, Chrono Trigger would be epic. No, Chrono Trigger, it has to happen. The internet would explode. Well, at least the RPG side of the internet would explode. We would die collectively happy that it was at least coming out, right? Dragon Quest 4 through 6 seem like obvious choices as well. That would be like the next trilogy I think they could focus on. You know, I'm not even going to read the rest of this article. Like, I'm sure it's a good article. Good job. But if they're asking what we want next and we don't collectively scream Chrono Trigger, we got to do something to get their attention. They've got to know that we want this. This is what we want. My gosh. Anyway, I just thought I'd share. If you guys see any polls or anybody posting on X from, you know, Team Asano, then aggravate. No, don't harass them. Don't go after them. Just ask politely, Chrono Trigger HD 2D, please. All right. So I thought this was interesting. Audience participation time. Coming up on 40 years of the Legend of Zelda series, I think the anniversary is this week or next. What are your top 3 favorite Zelda games? Please, sir, can we have some more Chrono? Please, sir. But top 3 Zelda games, chat. Top 3 for me, continue. I think they've remained largely unchanged, but it's Skyward Sword, Majora's Mask, and probably A Link to the Past as the top 3. All very formative, very very important, just relevant for me as a gamer through various eras of my life. Breath of the Wild was also, you know, up there as a game-changing one. As much as I like Tears of the Kingdom, it just didn't hit the same as Breath of the Wild did. Only play 2, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Hey, you have all of them on your Switch. Well, nearly all of them. You have all the good ones. Twilight Princess would be up there. Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Breath of the Wild. I'm hoping we can get Twilight Princess, the GameCube version, in the Switch 2 app. Rocket, thanks for that gift. I just thought it was cool. Yeah, it's cool to ponder. I'm wondering what other people have said. I forgot about Link Between Worlds. It's really good. Twilight Princess HD was a lot of fun. We played it on stream last year. It was worth doing. But anyway, there's a lot to choose from, and I'm hoping that in terms of like making older stuff available, the GameCube version of Twilight Princess hits the GameCube service on Switch Online, or you know, Nintendo does something even crazier and just goes, hey, Wii games are also coming to Switch Online, plus expansion pack, you know, or they do like another tier. Gosh, if they do a third tier of Switch Online, that might aggravate people. I might be aggravated. But anyway, yep, Skyward Sword HD was a good one. I wish Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD would finally hit Switch. That would be amazing if they did. All right, I think I got one more thing. Oh, I've been seeing this go around, and my gosh, this just aggravates the mess out of me. But it's Ocarina of Time if it was a modern game. Have you guys seen this?
Link? This place gives me the creeps. Link, the 4 ghosts have taken the 4 flames of Glomban. You must find them. Call me if you need me. Link, there's a gold skeleton. I can sense a skeleton nearby. Make sure to collect that gold skeleton. The more gold skeletons you collect, the more gold skeletons you'll have. Oh, this gold skeleton will help. Nice. Link, you've acquired 15 gold skeletons.
It's so much pain.
Watch out, Link, there's an enemy! Remember, any enemies that you fight, you can see their
Not good about feeling about this.
Link, be careful, there are enemies!
You're just like us, Link, a killer who just refugees.
That's one down.
Remember,
The little damage
any
pop-ups
enemies
are
that you
funny.
fight, you can see their information on the start screen.
Link, use your pen. And that's the second one down. Great job, Link. You've unlocked a new chest to use.
It's so
Call me if you
annoying.
need me. Nice. Small key. Nice. Link, you got a small key. Nice work.
Watch out, an enemy!
Ha!
Remember, any enemies that you fight, you can see their information on the start screen.
Oh my gosh, is this the modern audience? What the modern audience of gaming wants?
War is bad.
Is that war is bad? Oh, it's so much pain, y'all. It's so much pain. All right. Well, that's enough shenanigans. Anyway. Yeah, I thought I'd share that. That just made me like... It's so annoying. Like, just how much, like, hand-holding and talking to you the games do now. Where it's like, hey, there's a thing there to help you. And it's like, okay, I get that. You told me about it in the tutorial. Stop tutorialing me. I don't need my handheld. There's the red stuff coming out of my ears. So sorry, Rocket. Sorry, not sorry. I had to suffer through it. So did the rest of you. What is this? My goodness. I'm just kind of idling here. What time is it? 10:12? We're at the 40-minute mark. Anything interesting you guys have come across you want me to look at today? Haven't really been any like new trailers or anything. Y'all see the thing with the translucent MacBooks? Apparently there's like lower cost MacBooks about to hit the market. And they're bringing back the translucent covers and casing, which I would be all about. Just kind of looking through some of the other news from the morning. Nothing new, really. There's very little going on. There's a lot of arguing this week. Marathon's server slam is soon. When's the dates on that? Hold on. I need to figure that out because we're definitely gonna stream some of that. February 26th. What is that? That's 26th through the 2nd. Okay. So that's a Thursday to a Monday. All right, cool. Yeah, we can definitely get on that. I haven't touched a Bungie game in a long time. Not gonna lie. There may have been some Concerned Ape Haunted Chocolatier news. There was some stuff. Del Norin, howdy. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Well, so there's a blog he posts, the Concerned Ape posts too. Thanks, just ending up a 13-hour live stream. Let's go. Hey, thanks for the raid, man. A 13-hour live stream. What were you doing? I don't have any raid alerts set up on Rumble. I don't know if there are any. But thanks for the raid. Welcome in everybody who was hanging out on Del Norin's channel. Call of Duty Warzone? Nice, dude. Anything special you're doing 13 hours, or you just playing for 13 hours? Warzone, I haven't played a whole lot. Thanks for the likes and the reposts. Super helpful. Reading through the Haunted Chocolatier blog, he's just talking about the 1.7 update, but that was September 2nd, 25. And then January 28, 26 was the last update. And it's mostly Haunted Chocolatier news. Just playing for 13 hours, do mostly super long streams. Nice, nice. If I could, I would do them more often. Share it on Twitter. Let's go, man. Thank you so much. The support helps. It helps a ton. Everybody coming in from Del Norin's channel, thanks for being here. Tell me something you liked about Del Norin's stream tonight. Did you guys roast him, or did you guys motivate him to be the very best? Either one's appropriate for a streamer, right? We're all used to that. Algorithm is behind. Dude, I'm trying to follow up the stuff you sent me, and then just people talking about it. People just want more. Good advice on optics. I love when chat helps me figure out something in a game, or gives me advice. Like when I'm playing stuff like Star Rail or Genshin, that community is like, hey, you should try this, you know, and it's like, oh, maybe I should. Let's see. We're just looking at game news from this morning. We actually just kind of wrapped up the main stories I had. We're just kind of hanging out here for a few minutes, chatting with folks, seeing how everybody's day is going. What you got going on? I've got to go to work soon, but I don't have any meetings today, so that's awesome. At least I hope I don't have any meetings today. I don't have any this morning. I haven't gotten any text messages or phone calls, so we should be good. I thought this was interesting. Japan just got a price hike on the Xbox Ally X, the more expensive one. Xbox Ally X's prices are rising in Japan, hinting that it could rise globally too. Fortunately, the Xbox Ally is still on sale for under $490. This is one of those things I was talking about earlier with the Steam Deck. If you want one, get one now, because the price hikes are coming, the shortages are coming. I'm kind of torn. Do I want a handheld Xbox? I wouldn't use it. The more I think about it, the more I want just like a dedicated second, either second PlayStation or a second PC to stream from. Or not to stream from, but just play games on. It just seems like with how much everything's going to be short and, you know, getting more expensive, it just seems like a good idea to wait. I wanted to get a S2, just not to pay more later. Right. Yeah, dude, I saw that used one I told you about. It was like under $500. You know, and I hate that. I think I almost feel pressured to like go the like a firm route. And yes, financing and debt is bad. I'm not saying you should go into debt, but I'm just saying I don't want to drop $750 on a PS5 Pro. But I kind of want one, and if I could find a used one, I would get it. But the used ones on like Craigslist and Facebook Market are all scam posts. All of them. Half of them won't even let you click the buy button on Facebook Market. But Facebook Market's also just kind of junk anyway. Unmonitored. You can report people for like whatever, and they're still posting crap. Man, oh man. I don't know. I kind of want to check out the Virtual Boy games and see if I could just load them up. I need to order the headset if I'm going to get one. But I want to make sure it's like up to date and stuff. I haven't turned on the Switch 2 in a minute. We were playing Pokemon last. Let's see. We'll go to just chatting again. eShop. Yeah, I hate that like everything's getting more expensive. I really do. It's just getting out of hand. It's just getting out of hand. If you're coming in on Del Noran's raid, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I see we've got 19 viewers right now on Rumble, and that's 18 more than any other platform we've got viewers on right now. Why can't I use a passkey? I've always been able to use a passkey to sign in. I don't even know. There it is. Okay. Like, I much prefer passkey sign in, but come on now. Where's the Virtual Boy list? Do you have to search? That's weird. It's not even like front and center. There we go. Anybody checked out the new Mario Tennis? I really want to get it. It looks fun. I haven't played a Mario Tennis in forever. And I used to love the one on N64. That was my favorite one. I was just thinking of something to play with my kid. Okay. That's downloading. I don't know how long that's going to take. I don't imagine it would take long. Those games shouldn't be very big. I just want to know what's going to happen if we try to boot it up without the headset attachment or virtual, like the 3D thing. If it's just going to display stupid or not. I'm telling you, I think I might hook it up to my 3D TV and share the Virtual Boy experience with other people. I'm just curious, really, more than anything. Nice. I'm waiting on it. It's almost done. We're gonna check it out real quick, and we'll see what happens. I just wonder if it's like, does it force you to use the headset or not? And if it does, I'd like to order one, but do I want to spend $100? I feel like this is one of those things that's going to go out of stock and never be available ever again. Like, all the classic controllers they sell are cool, but I'm more interested in stuff like this. It's like super niche and weird. You need a headset? What does it tell you? Because they have communicated like very little about this release, except that it was coming and they were re-releasing, or they were making their dock for it. It's 2 small images like VR. Ooh, interesting. Okay. So then I could use my 3D TV to make it virtual. We'll wait for it to download. I want to check it out. I'm just wondering, like, they showed the 2D footage. Like, I would enjoy playing some of those games in the 2D mode. I don't see why they couldn't facilitate that. Oh, let me make sure I've got this all saved. We'll just learn together, chat. Requires a dedicated accessory. Oh, wow. It didn't even let you. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough, Nintendo. So it's like, hey, you can do this, but you have to buy an additional thing. That's kind of lame. Not gonna lie. It doesn't surprise me, but it's kind of lame. Alright, we're not even gonna touch it then. Just send it home. Undock it and try. Alright, fine. We can undock and try. Alright. Alright, so this is what you got. 2 3D things. It's crazy. It won't even just let you try like a 2D mode. All right. So maybe with those gifted. You know the touchscreen still works? That's crazy. Can you cross your eyes? I can. When I could like merge the images. But maybe with the payout, the Twitch payout we get this month, I'll get the headset and we'll do if I stream it though, it's kind of pointless. You guys can't like enjoy it. You know, it would just be me sitting there looking like a goober. I wish there was a way to like output the screen image to like a TV or whatever. I just don't see why it would limit it, why you have to have it docked. They literally showed the games in 2D. But I guess the 3D thing is like a big part of it. Alright, I feel like I've got to find somebody on Rumble to raid now. Because I do have to wrap things up. I got to get started on work and other things. So who's live now? Is Slinger live? And he's got a 3D print going. Yeah, that was loud. Interesting. All right, we'll just do a Silver Fox then. Do I have to do it from my own thing? Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. And yeah, what if they did film it that way? I don't know. But thanks for hanging out. We'll be live again Friday with some more game news. And then we got the podcast. So there's that. Wherever you're watching from, thanks for being here. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to go ahead and end the Facebook, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, and Rumble streams. But y'all have a great day. And we'll see you soon. Now, if you're watching on Twitch, I'll find somebody to raid as well. Thanks again to Ginger Prime with the epic support this morning. Absolutely insane. Let's see. We've been raiding Reforge a lot. I'm gonna find somebody new or different that we haven't raided in a while. No. Set to rerun. We'll send it to Lizzie. Alright. And that'll do it for me. You guys have a great day. I love you. God bless. And I'll see you guys on Friday. So, adios. Have a good day. Bye.